Hello, this is Crypto CJ. It's the trade of the day, Friday afternoon slash evening Zoom edition. Bitcoin is pumping some more. So I've got the pumping background going, and we broke 48 today briefly and hanging around 47, the low 47s now. So let's go to the chart, check it out. Okay, that's my Ethereum chart. We'll get to that next. We'll start with Bitcoin. You guys see my Bitcoin okay? Day
Yeah.
chart. And I left the headlines on. The TradingView has headlines in the lower right for all coins. They're most prevalent in Bitcoin, and just looking at the headlines, gained 4.5%, biggest weekly rally in 4 months. Are we gonna get to 48K and stay there, close there? Lasting rally. The S&P 500 broke 5,000 for the first time. So traditional finance is moving. I call it TradFi sometimes when I'm lazy. So TradFi is pumping too, and all kinds of good news. It's a lot of fun to be a crypto trader in times like these. We've all gutted it out and suffered through the bear market, and so it seems to be mostly bullish in 2024 so far. Got the halving coming up in April, so yeah, ETFs. We've survived that. Took the buy the rumor, sell the news. Got over that. Pump and dump, and then we're pumping again. Talk of an Ethereum ETF set for this spring. So yeah, good stuff is happening. A lot of us expected a drop down into the low to mid 30s. Hasn't really happened. I mean, back in late January, we were down here 39.6 for a couple days, 39.5 didn't stay, and then worked our way back to where we are now. So pretty good stuff, mostly good news. And Ethereum had a better day today. See, we're up over 4% so far, up 3% on Ethereum, broke 2,500 for a little while, and we're still trying to hold that as a close. Very close, but not quite there yet on 2,500. Looking for that $3,000 range, top of my range there. So we'll see if that happens. Any questions, comments about the markets overall? Well, what do we do with all this good news? Let's go to Altcoin Alert, see if we can find some day trades and swing trades. Maybe even if we're really adventurous, something to short over the weekend. Now, I had someone emailed me or messaged me about some confusion when they first opened Altcoin Alert. It's been a while since I've done that. So when you first open Altcoin Alert, you'll see something like this on the dashboard, either short term or long term. I don't use this. I go straight to the altcoin radar because I want all these columns of information. I do multiple different sorts. I've gone over these many times on these calls, but twice a week we go through them and try to find some trades and hopefully make some money. So the first sort I like to do is the AA score. And I'm looking for values 80 or higher, and I just happen to have one on Thorchain or Rune. This is a coin I trade quite a bit. I've got the chart up. Let's check it out. Take a quick look at the 5 minute and looking kind of squeezy. So not seeing a dip sequence or anything resembling that at the moment. It's kind of dipping, just squeezing together here. So we might get a dip sequence a little later, but we're not in one yet. If you want to set a price alert to get a better entry than what we have now, you can use the supply and demand visible range indicator, which I use for support and resistance. I would probably set a price alert at the top of that buy range, which is here at 511. That's easy to do. Right click, add an alert. And I usually use the information source, AA score. And if you type this enough times, TradingView will remember it. So you can just click on it on a drop-down menu. For my notifications, I'm going to go with the Notify an app. Just on my phone, pop up on my computer, play sound also on my computer, and then you choose the sound you want to hear. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go to my 15-minute chart, and I prefer to use alerts on indicators. The last few months, probably go on maybe 5 or 6 months. Not sure how long I've been using this. Maybe Frank would know. His suggestion. I've been using the RTI to initiate my trades on the 15-minute chart. And on a trend trade, I will use the cumulative delta for confirmation. If it's a dip and retrace or a pump and dump, then I'll just go with the RTI information and then take in support and resistance into consideration. I'm hoping for my dips and retraces to occur, in this green zone or a little bit above it. And then on my shorts, I want those to be coming out of the red zone. You don't want to short at support or go long at resistance. So generally speaking. So what do we do with this information? At the moment, we've got a pump starting to kind of drift down. We just broke through the 80. I like to take shorts after the RTI breaks below the 80, breaks up and then comes back down, and longs after it goes below the 20 and comes back up. And those are easy alerts to set. If you're trading spot, you're just going to be going with the positive movement. So you're going to be looking for dips below the 20 and then retraces. Now in this one, we haven't had that since Wednesday morning at 5 in the morning my time, Mountain time in the US. But as you can see, when it broke down, it came back up, got a really nice move. And that would have happened right about here in the green zone. And, wow, huge move up, 20%. On my day trades, I'm usually just looking for 1% on 10x leverage. And then on swing trades, I'm usually looking for usually around a 10% or higher move on the chart. So that's usually at 5x leverage, sometimes 10, and then sometimes it's just on a spot trading exchange like Coinbase. Okay. So for an alert on the RTI, add an alert for, and one more option, breaking above the 50. I've been using that for my trend trading. So you can see we had a break above the 50 here, also on Wednesday, and had a really nice move. And it has not broken below the 50 since. So there's a few options on here. We can cross up on the 20. That's going to be the bottom section I told you, the dip and the retrace. Then for a trend trade, you want to go for a 50. If you want to leave it on all day, you go once per bar close and call it what you want, AA score, and then set up the notifications how you prefer.
Question.
Sure, go ahead.
You said you set it up to you take it at the 50 a trend trade. What other trends are you using as confirmation to go ahead and jump in there?
Yeah, that's a good question. So let me pull out my vertical line. So here's an example of a break above the 50 that we had on Wednesday. So it breaks above the 50, and then I'm looking at my cumulative delta, and you see these green candles lining up, mostly green. There's a couple little red ones too, but they're mostly green, trending back up. So that's pretty good confirmation. Plus I'm coming out of the green zone, though it may have looked a little differently then. Let's scoot it over. Yeah, it's just above the green zone, kind of in the middle. So that's close enough for me on a trade because I'm only going for 1%. And in this scenario, I'm getting in right about here. And I've got how much room to the red zone? Yeah, a little over 1%, maybe 1.5% if I go to where the actual resistance is right here and then right here. Then this is what's creating the red zone, the top of
You,
this range here.
you would jump in a little bit after the 50, 60, something like that.
Well,
Or
that's when
would you?
my alert's going to go off when it breaks above the 50.
Yeah.
So it might be 55 or 60. Sometimes it spikes up hard. Here's a spike up hard right here. So that's going to be closer to, like 70 or 80. But again, good price action. I might take that trade. It's 6 a.m, so I probably am not awake yet, but you know, that would be one to consider if I was looking for something to do, looking for something to trade at that time. Okay. So, and then the other way I like to use the alerts to trade both directions, I'm going to be entering a channel. That's 80 on top, 20 on the bottom, once per bar close. And I'm going to call this a 1, 2, 3 dip pump. And I usually do a different alert, chirpy, and click create, but I've already got that one going, so I'm not going to do it here. So the 20 will catch those that dip below and then are coming back up. The 80 will catch those that are crossing up, up above the 80 and coming back down. But shorting in this market is a bit precarious. I got taken out on a stop loss yesterday that it took out about 15% of the account I was trading, so that was no fun. I may have to reevaluate that. But since the markets generally go like this, shorting 1% is pretty easy usually, even in a pumping market. Trying to get a big short move can be risky, but I'm basically scalping. We'll see. All right. Any questions on
This
Rune?
on finance?
I do it on Bybit. And you should have experience as a spot trader first before messing around with leverage. I was a spot trader for nearly a year actually it was over a year before I did anything with leverage.
It
But
seems to me on these really small numbers. I mean, in cents and then low dollars. If you don't leverage, you're it's just so blasted slow.
yeah, I mean, if you're only trading with $100 on Coinbase and you're spot trading getting 1%, that would take a long time. You can still build your balance that way if you keep compounding it, if you don't take any money out. But yeah, I think you'd well, you got to start somewhere. And if you're fairly new, you should use small amounts anyway. I mean, you should probably find a demo account, do that first, but some kind of practice account. And most of the exchanges have those that you can just practice on for a while. They're notoriously not accurate, but the idea is to get used to placing trades and reading charts and things like that. So, but yeah, I mean, I've only got so much of my own money to trade, and I've got 14 sub accounts and in Bybit doing different things, and so yeah, sometimes I'm making small profits myself. So, but find what works for you, do that, stay with it, and then when you get confident, increase it. Good question. Any other questions before we move on to something else in Altcoin Alert? Okay, that was an AA score sort. Let's reload and update. You can look for social activity. And speaking of the short that I got in trouble with, this was Cody yesterday. So this one's been hot lately, 34%. Is that one played out? It went up about the same yesterday. So what's going on with this coin? Anyone know why Cody's been pumping? Let's see, do we have any news? Not really. Whoa, all kinds of stuff in here. Yeah, I was on this yesterday, I think around here. No, I was in this area thinking it was going to dip down, and it looked like quite a bit different than it does. Yeah, I was in the red zone yesterday, and I took a short on it. It dipped a little bit and then it did this and then took me out. So I even did 3 additional purchases, and it wasn't good enough to be profitable. And it would have gone against me even worse had it did go up over 10 cents, came back down to 9. I still wouldn't have been close to getting out. So did the right thing, got out, live to play another day. But since we're here, let's go ahead and evaluate this. And shorting it would be dangerous, but maybe this run has played out and it's due to dip down again. We're at the 80 at the moment. It just dipped below. I won't be taking this short, but the indicator indicates it's it's due to come down some more. It has been trending down on all the indicators. So think about that as a short. It's also retraced a little bit if you want to look at this as a long. Yeah, I mean, we're 8% to the resistance. That'd be a great day trade. So this is one where maybe you set an alert to break above the 80. We haven't talked about those in a while, but here's a break above the 80 that took off on this one. So that one took off, and then it dipped down and then broke above again, dipped down, broke above again. You could have been in and out of this a couple times and done really well on the long side. It's not my favorite entry. We're closer to the resistance than I would like, but with that 8% gap, for my 1% trade, I would do it. But if you want to get something more, maybe 5 to 10%, it's got potential. So yeah, your alert crossing up on the 80. And maybe you only do this once. You don't leave this once per bar close. And was that social activity I think we were doing? Social activity sort, and the rest. So that would be one way to handle that. And then maybe you do a break above the 20 as well in case it does a really big dip. Say it comes down to this area. That would probably take it down into the 20s and bring it back up. So that alert crossing up on the 20, cross up on the 50. So this one's kind of interesting. 80 in the short term, 50 or 20 for longer dips. Any questions on Cody? Okay, let's look at a swing trade. So go to Altcoin Alert and sort on long-term sentiment. We're going to match this up with the Elder Impulse Daily. And long-term sentiment is what people are talking about online, on Twitter. Elder Impulse is a technical indicator. When I look at them together, I usually want to see further information. We've looked at Rune and Cody already. This might be the only two. Chromia up to about 2.5% today. There was another one I like. Yeah, that was about an hour ago. So let's look at CHR then as a swing trade. So as Madak, I was looking at that earlier. So I'm on the hour chart. I've got my support and resistance. I've got the super trend that's alert friendly and lets me know when the trend is changing. It's a real easy alert setup. right click on, add an alert. If you're trading spot, you're going to be looking for buys. If you're like me trading leverage, I like the direction change. And then if you want to short it, you can go with the sell. So once per bar close and long-term sentiment. I usually do a different notification for my swing trades. Handbells probably my go-to. So click create, and that would be one to consider. It's closer than I would like to the red zone. So if, let's say it's already in a buy, so it's going to have to sell and then come back on a spot trade. So you're probably going to get in like around here. Yeah, about 3%. You know, for a spot trade on a swing, I want a bigger move than that. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. Yeah, Chromie has been kind of pumping lately. Day chart, yeah, this is the highest it's been. You know, this 34 cents, 32.9 at the moment. But it's got a lot of room to get back to where it was in its glory days in 2021. So, you know, that's well over $1.40. So theoretically, there's room to move, but it could take a while. So I'm not loving this as a swing trade necessarily, unless you're looking to get just 2 or 3%. So yeah, I think I'd go with the buy order here, wait for a dip, and then a recovery, which hopefully happens around here, maybe in this middle zone if you're lucky. Then you ride that all the way back up. You know, if you caught this move, then that's over 10%. That would be cool. Or you could just do a price alert down here around 30 cents. That would be a really good entry. Then ride that up to like 34, 35%, 34, 35 cents. So that's how I would see a Chromia spot trade and or swing trade. Any questions on that one? Okay, we're moving along. Dare we look at a short? Sure, why not? So let's go short-term sentiment. And I usually match this up with the Elder Impulse hourly, but we're looking for bearish. So what can I short? Cake? Oh, that's neutral. Maybe we're not getting any matches. Doesn't look like we are. So another way to do this, we go to social activity and sort this negatively. Looking for poop. Not finding one. Poop or a thumb down on something that I know is on an exchange that I can short. Not seeing stores. Okay, here we go. Got poop on social activity and thumbs down on trading activity. So this could be a candidate to short. I trade this one a lot. I like it. It moves pretty well. I don't really care if it moves up or down. Just get moving. So we'll go back to our day trading. And yeah, see, this is exactly what I want. Up, down, up, down, up. Yeah, this is good stuff to me. And you know, the difference between the range is about 3%. I can work with that. I'd rather see, you know, 7 or 8%, but that's still pretty good. And yeah, when it breaks down below the 20, comes back up. You know, that happens here. Doesn't go up immediately, does go against us at first. You know, I probably end up getting out right around here. So I'd be in that one for, I don't know, 10, 12 hours, get my 1% and be out. Then on the short side, we get the dip here. So probably get in around here and probably take an additional purchase there and then, get out here. So yeah, I like this as a day trading short, and I'm gonna set my alert on the RTI, do crossing down on the 80, or if I want to trade it both directions, which is what I would probably do, I think I'll go ahead and just do that. Let's go entering channel, 80 on top, 20 on the bottom, once per bar close, and socials activity sort, and go with chirpy on that, which I use for my 1, 2, 3. Actually, that should be 1, 2, 3 dip. The rest is the same, and I'm good to go. Got my rectangle there that will alert me when it pumps and then comes back, retraces, or dips and retraces. Any questions on storage?
Yeah, you said there was a 1, 2, 3. Point out where that's at, because that doesn't look very good to me. I can't
You know
see
what?
where.
You're right. I may need to consider renaming that alert, but because it's really not here. What the history of me doing these types of alerts came from when I noticed on the 1, 2, 3 dip on the 5-minute chart, when those happened, like here's an example.
Goes in, comes back out.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and then probably in right about here. So that's it. I noticed that on the 15-minute chart, I go to 350. I can't remember where it was, but anyway, it is around here. Yeah, I'm doing this. When I explain this, I usually have it ready in advance, but anyway, the point is a 15-minute alert will catch many of those 5-minute 1, 2, 3 dips, but it's hard to set an alert for a 1, 2, 3 dip. You'd have to sort of guess where it is. Where I noticed on the 15-minute on the RSI and then later the RTI that 15-minute would be a dip that's recovering, and that's where I want to get in. So, but sometimes it's a choppy mess like what you see before you. So it's a good eye that you saw. It wasn't really a good example of the 1, 2, 3 dip, but as you can see, we had one here, and then it made a nice move up. It's 250 on Friday this
Go read
morning.
that. I couldn't find it in the label where you put your name in. Was covered all the way down over the view button, and it was like covering everything up.
Yeah, that's the downside of Zoom, is some of its buttons get in the way of what we're looking at. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Any coins you want to look at? Well, I guess it's short, sweet, and hard to beat today. We're at about a half an hour, but went through 4 options here on Altcoin Alert for the weekend. I hope some of these are useful to you. I will wrap it up here, and you guys have a good weekend. If you're watching on the recording, hope to see you live next time. Please check out the opportunities in the pinned comment. They help support the channel. See you next time. Bye.